So domain-specific languages are all around us. When we look around, we interact with systems which are not user interfaces. There's usually a contract that we have to interact with the system. There's an API. Also, there are other formats like JSON, YAML, etc. There's usually a joke that I say that all configuration languages either give way to more configuration languages or they grow to become programming languages in their own. The reason for that is every specific domain has its own constraints as well. For example, if you're building your own alerting system, you would be using a configuration language because obviously writing code over and over again is tedious. You need to compile, you would run into errors. So you try to wrap that into ease of a declarative nature, which is readable to a human as well, which can interact with the system. But this is usually not limiting because there are syntax checks, there are functions that you need, etc. And this gives you the rise of domain-specific languages. They've been around for a while. One of such examples is Terraform. All HashiCorp tools you would see, they have a HashiCorp configuration language, which is what is used for interacting with Terraform, for Nomad, etc. The purpose of this talk is to explain why DSLs are important. How do they give rise? What are the constraints and considerations that you need to keep in a DSL? And I'm going to take one such example. I'll build a DSL on top of the very friendly HCL that you would have already used in a lot of HashiCorp languages. And we go about doing that. At the end of the talk, I do expect that, and I hope that every audience and participant are fairly comfortable with getting the idea of why DSLs are important. In the journey or life cycle of a DSL, how do you go about adding more and more complexity and support? And three, almost to the end of the talk, I also want to cover on what DSLs are limiting at and what cases should they be avoided. There will be a lot of code samples, code snippets that I'll share. I'll also share a GitHub link by the end of the talk. And I hope it's fun for everybody who comes along.